Welcome back for a Sunday Devo. It is February, finally. Hopefully this means we're on our way out of this cold winter we're getting here in the Northeast. It's been brutal. But what's not brutal is diving back into the Word. Today's scripture reading comes from Isaiah chapter 43. And I'm actually going to read, the verse is verse 1, but I'm going to read down through verse 4 here. Chapter 43 of Isaiah, verse 1 starts by saying, "But now, O Jacob, listen to the Lord who created you. O Israel, the one who formed you says, do not be afraid, for I have ransomed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. When you go through deep waters, I will be with you. When you go through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown. When you walk through the fire of oppression, you will not be burned up. The flames will not consume you." Down at the end of verse 4 here, wraps up by saying, "You are honored, and I love you." The title of today's devotional says, "Who you are comes before what you do." And I think this is just a great message today for so many of us young men. Some older men as well might identify by this, but it says most men spend their lives trying to perform their way into purpose, but performance never produces identity. Identity produces performance. Before God gives you an assignment, discipline, calling, or influence, He gives you a name: mine. You don't belong to culture. You don't belong to shame. You don't belong to your failures. You belong to Him. And until you accept that, you will live as a slave of fear, approval, and insecurity. God says, "I redeem you. I named you. I choose you." The question is, do we believe in Him? This is the foundation stone of every godly man. He knows who owns his life. And as always, we jump right into reflection questions. Before I jump into these, guys, I hope you're following along. I appreciate all the support I've gotten for these Sunday devotionals. I've continued to look for ways to step up my own faith this year, and in doing that, continue to dive into not only the Word, but building journaling habits and building better habits that are leading me into better discipline and as a man of God. And I hope you follow along. Tomorrow I'm starting 28 straight days of ice baths in the morning, even in this frigid temperature. I did them a few years back, and I'm really looking forward to getting back into the groove there. We're going to start with a minute and work our way up to 3 minutes here in the month of February. So follow along for that, as I'll be doing some devotional style ice baths here in the next month. So let's dive into these reflection questions. Where have I tried to earn my identity instead of accepting it from God? And what names, labels, failures, lies have I believed about myself that Christ never said about me? What would change if I lived every day knowing I belong to Him? Where has insecurity shaped my choices more than truth? I'll tell you what, this message really resonates with me, especially for so many years, and I think we fall into this trap as men in 2025 into 2026. We are so often defined by the job we have, right? In America, we ask, well, what do you do? And immediately we start saying our job, right? I'm a golf coach. I used to be a medical device sales rep. I used to be a roofing, siding, windows, and doors sales rep. And in reality, that's what I do for work. That's not what I do. That's not who I am. That's not what God has chosen me as a person to fulfill my life. I'm so much more. You're so much more than the job you do and clock in and clock out of every week. So really, really great message today. Thank you as always for following along for Sunday Devotional. And we'll see you next Sunday for what I'm sure will be another great Bible verse and another great reflection. See you next week.